Why are the Indiana Fever at a major crossroads? And is it time for a leadership change?
I've been involved with the Indiana Fever, Patient Sports and Entertainment, off and on for mostly 21 years. And so I've seen the highs, I've seen the lows, and I know what the Simons want, I know what they deserve, I know what our fans need, I know what the city of Indianapolis.
If you've followed the Fever this season, you've likely heard rumblings about Caitlyn Clark's impact and the growing calls for both general manager Lin Dunn and head coach Christy Sides to step down. But what exactly is going wrong in Indiana? And is it really just a coaching issue, or does it go deeper?
I talked to the GM in Connecticut and I said, "Dearest, let's go back to let's have one game in Indy." He said, "There is no way I'm going to do anything to allow my team to get out of this arena." And I said, "Well, I'll run it." I said, "Because we will have 19,000 people ready for you." He said, "I don't want to go back to Indy." But our players deserve a chance to play.
Let's break down what's happening with the Fever. Starting with a quick look at where the team stands, the Fever have had an up and down season, and it's hard not to notice the inconsistency. From blown leads to questionable coaching decisions, many fans are frustrated. Yet, amidst the chaos, one thing remains clear: Caitlyn Clark is a star, and she has been carrying this team on her back. So, why does it feel like the coaching staff isn't making the most of this generational talent?
I never wanted her to not be aggressive and take shots. I really thought when she went out in transition after that, it was pretty thorough. She was gonna, I thought she was gonna take it to the rim or pull up right there, and that would have been her. That'd have been a great shot for her, for our team.
Lyn Dunn's legacy and Christy Sides struggles. Lin Dunn, the Fever's general manager, has a storied career, but it seems like the decision to stick by Christy Sides as head coach is drawing more ire than praise. Christy Sides, in her first year as head coach, inherited the responsibility of guiding Caitlyn Clark, the Fever's #1 draft pick and arguably one of the most transformative players in the WNBA. But what should have been a promising season has left many questioning Sides' leadership. It's not just the losses that have people talking. Christy Sides has made some baffling decisions during critical moments of games. Timeouts, for instance, are a tool for regaining control. Yet Sides has repeatedly failed to call them when the Fever needed a breather. How many times have we seen the team stuck in a rough spot, needing a break, and she just lets them play through it? Her handling of substitutions hasn't been much better. Caitlyn Clark, playing far too many minutes without proper rest, is often left to fend for herself as other players struggle to maintain momentum. It's almost as if Sides isn't fully aware of her team's rhythm on the court, and this has become one of the biggest complaints from fans and analysts alike. Caitlyn Clark's heroics, a one-woman show. While Christy Sides is drawing criticism, Caitlyn Clark continues to shine. Clark's ability to step up in the biggest moments is undeniable. Whether she's draining threes, dishing out assists, or making clutch plays under pressure, she has single-handedly kept the Fever relevant in a season that could have been far worse without her. It's hard to imagine Indiana even making it to the playoffs, let alone being competitive. But here's the kicker: Clark can't do it all on her own. Basketball is a team sport, and while she may be the star, she needs a coach who knows how to support her in the right moments. Christy Sides, unfortunately, hasn't been that coach when Clark has been targeted by opposing defenses, taking hard fouls and rough hits. Sides has failed to stand up for her. This lack of advocacy has left many questioning Sides' ability to lead the team in the long term. Fans are starting to wonder if the Fever's future will remain bright under this leadership. Sure, Lin Dunn and Christy Sides have brought the team to a better place than last season, but is it enough? And is it fair to put this much pressure on Caitlyn Clark to carry the franchise without the right support system around her? The coaching conundrum: is Christy Sides the problem? It's tough to say if all the blame should fall on Christy Sides, but it's clear that her inexperience has shown this season. With zero head coaching experience prior to this role, her handling of pivotal moments has been shaky. There were times when the Fever were on the verge of a breakthrough, only for Sides to make a substitution or call a play that killed any momentum. Let's not forget, the Fever didn't just need a coach this season, they needed a leader capable of handling the pressure of managing a talent like Caitlyn Clark, someone who could harness her potential and elevate the team. Instead, what we've seen is a team that's been inconsistent, unable to close out games, and seemingly confused about their identity on the court. Side struggles have led to increased calls for her to be replaced. Fans are now looking at other coaching candidates, like Lisa Bludder, and wondering if a change at the top could unlock the Fever's true potential. Bludder, who coached Caitlyn Clark in college, has been a fan-favorite name floated around in discussions about who could better utilize Clark's skill set. The A'ja Wilson vs. Caitlyn Clark debate. Meanwhile, in the wider WNBA, another conversation has been taking place. Why is Caitlyn Clark getting so much attention when a player like A'ja Wilson, at 28 years old and with over 1,000 points this season, seems to be flying under the radar? Wilson's dominance for the Las Vegas Aces is undeniable, yet the media seems more focused on Clark's rising stardom. Some argue that the attention on Clark has overshadowed other players' achievements. However, it's important to note that Clark's appeal goes beyond just her on-court performance. She has brought in new fans, expanded the WNBA's viewership, and become a must-watch athlete. Her dynamic playing style and charisma are drawing in viewers who might not have tuned into the WNBA otherwise. But does this media focus mean that players like A'ja Wilson are being unfairly overlooked? It's a complex situation, and it speaks to the wider conversation about the marketing of the WNBA and how stars are positioned in the public eye. What's next for the Fever and the WNBA? As the season winds down, the Fever face big decisions. Lin Dunn's support of Christy Sides is being heavily scrutinized, and many believe it's time for a change. The future of this franchise depends on how they handle these next few months. Caitlyn Clark is a superstar, and with the right coach, she could lead Indiana to a championship. But that's not going to happen if the current leadership remains unchanged. The WNBA itself is also at a crossroads. With Clark taking a break from the league for a while, the question becomes, what happens next? The league has relied on her star power to drive viewership and keep fans engaged, but her absence will undoubtedly leave a void. The Fever, without Clark, might struggle to keep the momentum they've built this season. Fans are already expressing disappointment that they won't see Clark on the court for several months, and many have said they won't watch the league as closely without her. This is not a knock on the other great players in the WNBA, but it does highlight how much of an impact Clark has had in such a short time. Final thoughts: is it time for a leadership reset? In conclusion, it's clear that the Indiana Fever are at a pivotal moment in their franchise history. Caitlyn Clark has been a revelation, but she can't carry this team on her own. She needs a coach who understands her game and can make the right decisions when it matters most. Lin Dunn's decision to keep Christy Sides as head coach may ultimately hold the team back from achieving its full potential. The Fever have the talent to compete at the highest level, but they need the right leadership in place to make it happen. If they want to maximize Caitlyn Clark's prime and build a championship-caliber team, it's time for a serious conversation about the future of this coaching staff. The fans deserve it, the players deserve it, and most importantly, Caitlyn Clark deserves it. Stay tuned here at SportPulse for more in-depth analysis as we follow the Fever's journey and the WNBA's future.